It only took one day of Blink-182 reuniting for the story to shift into one all about dynamic pricing and the $700 pop-punk show. There have been some developments, some drama, a love note, a music video, and a new song to dive into, so I think we need to do an update video. Hey ladies, how's it going? Dan Frampton here. Thank you so much for clicking on to today's video. We got some Blink-182 drama to get into, so get yourself comfortable, get your favorite snack, get your favorite drink, put those feet up, put on your favorite slippers, and let's read this note that Tom DeLonge left for Matt Skiba. Okay, some background. Tom DeLonge was the original guitar player for Blink-182. I'm sure you're all very well aware of that. When he left the band, Blink-182 kept kinda going in 2011 or whatever when they got back together, but they had no guitar player. So they looked to the scene. They looked to other bands that were kinda on that same level, but you know, no one's on the same level of Blink-182. But you know, that same kind of arena, pop-punk kind of thing. And it was like, oh, there's gotta be someone out there that's kinda good at this. You know, Alkaline Trio is a pretty good band, so they went over to Alkaline Trio. And they were like, hey, Matt Skiba, you play the guitar over here with this band called Alkaline Trio. How would you like to boost that profile a little bit and come on over here with us and just fill some Tom DeLonge sized shoes and play some pop punk tunes with the biggest pop punk band to ever exist? So of course Matt Skiba is going to be all like, yeah, duh, I'm going to do that. So he went and did that. And then tragically, the bass player of Blink-182, Tom DeLonge's former best friend, Mark, got a little bout of cancer, okay? And it looked pretty grim. He had to go bald, you know, he did the whole treatment thing. But he came out the other end all healthy and stuff, and the friendship of these two former best friends, Tom DeLonge and Mark Hoppus, was now mended. And after it was public that that friendship was back together, it left Matt Skiba out in the dark a little bit. He was all like, am I still in this band? What's going on? And yeah, the answer was no, man, you're not in the band anymore. But in my last video, I was like, oh man, I hope they told him. I hope that they didn't just learn about this all on the internet. And that I don't really know the answer to. But what I do know is that Tom DeLonge wrote a public letter to Matt Skiba and left it here on his Instagram. So I thought we'd read it together. Hi Matt, Tom DeLonge here. I wanted to take a minute to say thank you for all that you've done to keep the band alive and thriving in my absence. I think you are enormously talented, and I still love your band and listen to it to this day. You have always been so kind to me, not only in the press, but also to others. I really noticed. Emotions between the three of us in Blink have always been complicated, but Mark's cancer really put things into perspective. And that's kind of exactly what I was saying in my last video, and I'm glad to have Tom DeLonge out here confirming that. That's wonderful. He goes on to say, but to be honest, the band would not even be here today if it were not for your ability to jump in and save the day. So from my heart to yours, thank you for being a member of our band. And I think that that's a very classy move. I think that's so nice of him to do that. It does show genuine appreciation for another human being to come in and step into these enormous size shoes that would never ever be filled, because that Blink-182 trio is kind of an iconic trio in pop culture. And instead of coming out here and being like, we're the iconic trio in pop culture, he just like brought it down to earth and made it so warm and genuine, and I love to see that. That's great. But it isn't all great, unfortunately, because like I was saying at the beginning of this video, the story quickly morphed into one about like dynamic pricing on Ticketmaster. You gotta love Ticketmaster. This isn't even the first time that it happened. It happens to like Taylor Swift and Bruce Springsteen and Paramore come to mind, where they have this thing called dynamic pricing. And I guess the more people that want to go to the show, the more expensive the tickets are. So then only like the rich people get to go to the show, and it's kind of lame because it's like music is the people's entertainment. I don't understand why we're like gatekeeping it with dynamic pricing, Ticketmaster. Not cool. And yeah, from city to city, it's the same story. But depending on the city, the prices do vary a little bit. And we do have to notice these aren't resale prices. These are the initial prices coming from Ticketmaster. Normally you see this size price tag on a resale item that's like a hot ticket or whatever, but this is like day one stuff. Okay, you're like, okay, I want 2 floor tickets to Blink-182 and Turnstile. Okay, the first one's gonna cost me $705. Okay, sick. Oh, what's the second one? Got $730, you say, for being right here, not even front row, not even on like the general admission side. You're like, still back a whole bunch, not even in the pit, and you're spending more than $1,400 for you and a friend to go see Blink 182 and Turnstile. That is fricked. And everybody knows it's fricked, and that fucking criticism has been going out into the internet, and I'm sure to everybody at Ticketmaster, but you know, there's dynamic pricing. This is pricing controlled by algorithms. This is smart pricing, according to them, I guess. So yeah, on one hand, it's very exciting that Blink 182 are going on tour again. You know, dads and moms can take their kids to the arena and be like, this was my favorite band. You're gonna hear a lot of offensive jokes, but that's okay. I was hearing them at this age. And then they're gonna hear them with their kids and be like, oh no, we've made a terrible, terrible decision. But all that being said, I don't have a final opinion yet. They dropped a song today called Edging. And not only was it a song, it was a music video. The music video is just promo, but is the song good enough to get me into one of these arenas? Is the song good enough for me to pay $730 to get my ass through those gates? So while we're there, we might as well get into it. Blink 182, Edging. Definitely not gonna play the song, and I'm not gonna show a lot of the clips of the music video. I might show some stills, but I've gotten bit in the ass a little bit in the past for that, so I gotta be a little bit more wise how I do this. But right away, we know Blink 182 is really gonna hammer home on those nostalgia vibes because we got the Skankin' Rabbit and this old school font. This is so 1994 Blink 182, and I'm loving to see it. Before I talk about the music video, let's talk about this song a little bit. I had my expectations set pretty low, and that's because of the new Red Hot Chili Peppers stuff that came out that, you know, super sucks a whole lot. And the fans are like, you know, this is like Red Hot Chili Peppers from back in the day. This is so awesome. But it's not awesome. It's very sad. It has like the lyrics of sexy condiments in it that doesn't make any goddamn sense. So I was thinking, is this new Blink 182 stuff gonna be sexy condiments bad? Oh, we'll see. And today, ladies, I saw, and I'm happy to report, it's not sexy condiments bad. It's definitely not Blink 182's best material, but I can safely say that it didn't suck ass. It's a simple song structure that gives Tom DeLonge the first verse, which is very smart, because you know, it's the big triumphant comeback or whatever. It's just a simple, effective pop song. The hook is decent, it's catchy, it's just pretty much a plain pop punk song. So those are all the positives about it, and all the positives are like right there in the mid-level. But this song doesn't come without some critiques. And I only have two big critiques of this song. The first are the lyrics in the front end when Tom DeLonge goes, I'm a punk rock kid. You're like 50 years old, man. You're not a punk rock kid. If you just set the tense to a past tense on this line, I wouldn't have cringed so hard. And the song would have played out the same way if you had said I was a punk rock kid. But you know, that was a creative decision that you made, and I found it to be weird as hell. Now the next thing I want to critique about this song, and it's something that people are actually stoked about, so I know I'm going to be saying a controversial opinion here. It's the harmonies in the bridge. They are so rough, they are mixed horrendously. I don't know where they're coming from, and then one time they're louder, the next time they're quieter, their voices clash with one another, and they're not in the same key. It's just like blowing my mind. But then I remember, oh well, it's just Blink 182, who cares, you know? It's just like some shitty ass pop punk harmonies in the bridge. And it is kind of cool to hear Tom DeLonge and Mark Hoppus back on the same track simultaneously again. I will give you that. And I'm coming into this with a little bit of a bias because Blink 182 is one of those bands that's super important to me as a music fan. They're one of the bands that got me interested in playing music. That kind of showman style that Travis had back in the day was really captivating to me, and I kind of grew out of it as I grew older. So before I give you the final grade on this song, I just want to show you this music video because I kind of love the music video. It's just the boys, they're at this like carnival. They got this really giant version of that Skankin' Rabbit with the Ferris wheel. I love that as a visual. I love the aspect ratio. I love the color grading. It all looks so sick. The drums with this kind of candy cane print on it. It all looks aesthetically amazing. This is a great looking video. A very cool concept. They're throwing knives at one another. You know that whole knife throwing thing at carnivals. It's really cool to see them playing music together again. Oh God, that's freaky. So it is all kind of unsettling and kind of horror-esque, you know? And they're just playing these music and there's these like rabbits dancing around. And then it gets pretty sinister near the end. I don't want to spoil it too much, but there ends up being a whole lot of dead rabbits at the end. So it's a pretty cool, fun watch, and I do recommend going out and watching this music video. The music video is not only worth a watch, it's worth a rewatch. But is the song edging $730 good to get me through those gates? I'll tell you right now, not a chance in hell. No way. It's like kind of just like a mid-song. It's 2.5 stars. But I will give that video 4.5 stars. That thing's beautiful. And I'm sure that's not even all the updates. That's just all the updates that have come across my desk so far. So when I hear something, you'll hear something. Until my next upload, watch another upload.